Hey guys, welcome back. So a few people were asking about what do beginners do? Where do we start? Ideally, the best place to start is going to be finding just free, easy sounds. Technical sounds, mechanical sounds, sounds that aren't necessarily desirable in terms of, I want to sound this way or that way as an end result. Sounds that are more functional. A lot of the exercises are going to lead you in that direction. So if you think about lip rolls, which is where a lot of people start, what is a lip roll doing? Essentially, it's helping you isolate pitch adjustment. The airflow in the lips keep the chord closure consistent more easily for the beginner. And there's no vowel because the mouth is closed. So you've got all of the articulation put out of the way. You've got worrying about chord closure put out of the way. You've got a lot of things put to the side, and you can just focus on feeling this nice stretch. In a nice, simple, clean way. It doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be relatively free. As soon as it gets too crazy, as soon as you feel, like a yeah, it's too much. As soon as it gets too crazy, as in gets too much air, you've got to keep this nice and regulated all the way from bottom to top and back down. That way the closure is managed. Another exercise you might try is a combination of sliding and staccato stops. So you would do something with both pitch adjustment and closure at first. You would do and then you see if you can get the closure out of the way and just do the slide. You could do three. You could do staccato to a kind of deliberate slide to a smooth slide. And you just have to take it up until you break the rules. The tricky thing at first is understanding, well, when did I break the rules? Most of the time, you're not necessarily going to know straight off. But the idea is if things start to drastically change in the coordination, so if you feel a lot of squeeze at the top, it's not right. Again, if you feel a lot of letting go at the top, and it just goes into nothing, it's not going to work. So you want that smooth feeling to where it's releasing nice and evenly. Yeah, if you feel this feeling of the larynx coming up, monitor the larynx. If you feel this, no good. You gotta got a nice dopey feeling at the top. So there's lots of things you can start thinking about and monitoring with the exercise. But broadly, whatever it is, you want to keep it nice and simple and just start moving around in your voice in a way that remains consistent from bottom to top and back down. And you can start going into some more normal types of exercises like a mum or a no or a nay. But the idea is we start off walking. we start off just very deliberately putting one foot in front of the other, and with a sense of care in what we're doing. Now, this is much more easily said than done, because I thought I was being careful for many years when I was doing the exercises, but it wasn't till years later that I realised I wasn't being careful and I was breaking the rules. So the more care that you can start off with, the more gradually you can start off in terms of just taking the basics one step at a time and not rushing to power and range and everything else that we want. The more chance you have of learning this the right way and then extending from the right foundation. Singers like me learn the wrong way round, and this is why I'm so encouraging of people to do it the right way round, because after 15 years I had to start over from scratch, and after 10 years and after 5 years, many times I thought, I've got it wrong, I need to start again. I could have saved myself a lot of time if I'd have just started with simple sounds done correctly and built a stronger foundation, rather than worrying about all the details and then going back and improving the foundation but not improving it enough many times. If you break all the rules and you just go for range and power from the get-go, what you're going to end up with is a lot of range and a lot of power that nobody's interested in listening to. If you build a strong base, whatever high note you get to, whatever powerful coordination or heady coordination you get to, it's going to sound nice and the listener's going to be drawn in very easily. So there's a flip of priorities, and that flip is what naturals have naturally. They prioritise fluid, easy motions. They prioritise mechanics and how it feels. Not emotionally how it feels, but physically how it feels. It feels easy, it feels smooth, it feels finessed. That's their base, that's their baseline. Rather than getting in a mess, trying to rush forward, get the power and range, and have a shaky voice, a voice that doesn't really understand what it's doing. I made such a simple, fundamental error for many years by thinking that two things were one thing. And I could have saved myself years of heartache and struggle as a singer if I'd have just sit back and took the time to approach things in a nice, easy, methodical way. Now, as we start to vocalize higher, we do need tension. And that's where the confusion starts to come in, because whilst it's all well and good to say, we need to keep it simple and easy in the throat, as we get higher, we do need tension. And we've got to gradually find that tension in a finessed way. Most people find some of the good tension and some of the bad tension as they go up higher, and they hit a ceiling because of that. So the gradual work we do is, as we start to find this tension, as we start to find more stretch, as we start to find that correct tension, we've got to find it in a way where everything else is loose and relaxed, but we're just grabbing on those pitch adjustment muscles. So it's about balancing this idea of finding the right tension, keeping things relaxed and simple, keeping things relaxed and simple. You're going to make mistakes, but I guess why I'm here is to say you want to minimize those mistakes as much as you can and maximize the right approach as much as you can. You're going to add the wrong tension here and there. You're going to have some inefficient coordination here and there. But if you can approach technique with balance, you're going to come at it in a way that's going to minimize that sense of 3 steps forward, 2 steps back as much as possible. It's not possible for many singers to avoid that completely, but it is possible for a lot of singers to mitigate most of that. So if you're a beginner, start singing songs, but explore the mechanics of your voice and explore it in a way that gives you a sense of building on something, gives you a sense of control, and gives you a sense of simplifying the mechanism. What is it that I need to do to get my voice to move from bottom to top? What is it that I need to do to connect the vocal cords? What is it that I need to do to understand my voice in a more zoomed out, more macro level, rather than all those little details in the center? If we can get to that correct foundation, start vocalizing in the right way, things will start to work. Things will start to make sense. And from there, we can have people listen to us and think, wow, that dude drew me in. He moved me. It wasn't just look at those high notes. It was, oh man, he really meant what he was singing. That meaning in the vocal, that sense of being drawn in and believable, is ultimately technique. It's not what's going on in your head, oh, I really believe these, I really believe this. It's too vague. It's that efficient, easy quality that draws people in, and that leads to you being able to connect to the song more. But the building blocks of that are technical, not emotional. So you've got to find it, you've got to discover it, and you've got to learn it the right way. Then people will pay to listen to you sing. Hit me up in the comments, guys. Let me know your thoughts. As always, I'll be back next week with more vocal technique. What is this? Vocal philosophy? I don't really know. But we'll dive in and we will give it another go each week. I'll catch you soon. Take care. Bye.